abrasive or not so much it doesn't appear that he's trying to connect or help the other person or in a communication like how I would communicate. I saw a clip this morning that GRC brought up from a couple of years ago, and was calm, took his time, got the point across. He's not like speaking fast. He's not raising his voice. He's not trying to pontificate how special he thinks he is, right? And you have watched this evolution at least for 5 years or so. What are your thoughts on that? Because like it's clearly evident. Like we watch it, and you just see somebody that's like, wants to talk about how special they are, which is perfectly fine. Yeah. Everybody wants to talk about themselves. It's not a bad thing, right? But you've seen this evolution. If you look at older content where that's not the case.
Well, why does he change his voice depending on who's interviewing him sometimes? I mean, he does all kinds of things. There's a method to the madness. Everything Richard does is like very calculated, but in like a healthy way. He does it like he is so good at whoever's interviewing him or whoever he's going against or going with. He knows if they're friend or foe. He knows if he's going to drive with them, if you're going to have a good conversation, or if he's going to be defensive and kind of assert the dominance, be the alpha, and make sure everyone knows it in the room. So he changes his behavior based on who's interviewing him and how he thinks they're going to come at him. I've said, as you said, and I'll say it too. I've watched like every interview I could ever get my hands on his channel, his podcast he's never shared, like on his Twitter. I've had to like go down the rabbit hole to find all this stuff. And some interviews, he'll go into them and he'll be like, oh, even during halfway through the interview, he'll say something like, oh, I thought this was going to go differently, or I thought this was going to be more, apprehensive and what, we're going to be fighting, but actually, we got along. And every single technique he uses is for him to get points. At the end of the interview, he wants whoever's watching, he wants them to know that he is the best guy in crypto. He is the smartest guy in the room. He is that person. And, he talks about, why would anyone do that? Like, you would think that a lot of people connect with other people by them being humble, them being respectful, them not being this dominating type of person in conversation. But he owns this little area of, I am going to show you I am the best, and I'm going to get more people. I'm going to get more followers. My brand is I am the best. So if your brand is I am the best, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to be nice sometimes. Or if you do, it's always you're always playing an angle. He's always like, I'm going to be nice because, I want to show people this side of me. I've been playing, the rowdy one for a while now. I've been saying PP a lot. Now I'm going to like calm down a bit, have a chill conversation. So everything he does, and it's amazing he's able to switch between these different personas and stuff too. But everything he does is for a purpose. So that's why I say, like, if you see something Richard does, the way he's acting, what he's doing, whatever it is, and you don't understand, like yourself, it's probably a deficiency on you, not him. He's probably not messing up. Of course, he makes mistakes, and I'm sure there's things that if you really got it down to it, he wish he would have done differently. But most of the time, he knows exactly what he's doing, and it works. He's proven that.
So this is interesting, and this is reminiscent of, I followed Tesla for a very long time, 10 years, and I would find different podcasts and I'd listen to the conference calls where you would actually get to hear Elon talking, and then you'd follow Elon and other top executives on Twitter. And if they did appearances or things, you could you could kind of glean what was happening within the company to get a better idea of what was taking place, or former employees, right? Listening to that, and then reading what some of the mainstream media, just so you can get an idea of the FUD and the fake shit that's out there, right? And it appears that you've done something similar, but in the realm of Richard Hart, in terms of gathering an understanding of the person at a deeper level, because you've been doing it over time, right? So time is a differentiator, right? Because you get to see shit over periods of time. Like, I've been doing certain things in my life for well over 20 years. I have experience that nobody else is ever going to have, just because I have more experience on that for 20 years. I see more shit, right? Same thing with you and RH. Now, given that you've been able to consume these pieces of content and gather this information and insight and see the behavior, what are some things that you think are like misunderstood in the community that we're in? What are some of the things that you see are misunderstood? Because I could tell that around Elon Musk. I'd be like, this shit for like these fucking morons. I don't even know what they're talking about. Right. And you could see this and understand the authenticity of what is going on, even if it comes off as brash or idiotic, or it's like Asperger's or whatever the case is with Elon Musk. And I'm sure that there are nuances or certain things that you have seen or understand at a deeper level than I do, or the audience that would probably benefit by you sharing that.
Yeah, I think the first thing is people tend to treat them like either put them in the businessman category or put them in the capitalist category or put them in this spoiled rich kid or rich guy category where he's selfish or he's flashy or he's flamboyant or whatever it is. They always try to fit him in this box of there must be like, yeah, he jokes about it too. People ask him, but are you happy? You have all this stuff. Are you happy? It doesn't even, the question is a moot question. It doesn't matter if he's happy. Like the question to ask Richard is, are you making progress towards your goal? And he would say yes. I think all the evidence points to that. So when people try to put him in this box of like, okay, he must have some angle, he can't be good at everything. Why does he always say he's the best at all this stuff? None of that matters. Like if you understand Richard, understand why he's doing everything that he does. He wants glory. He wants to be known as he wants to go down in history as a person who did amazing things. He wants to be a great man. And I think he's already a great man. He wants to be worldwide. I mean, world renowned in that way. He wants to literally save you. Sins Foundation, longevity, all this stuff. I think I've said it this few times. I think his bigger goal is longevity research, and crypto is just a means to that. I think crypto will be a footnote to his like legacy in that way. That's how I think important he believes his mission is. So people try to put him in this box where he's like, oh, he's just a man. He's just, he brags too much. He talks about PP too much, whatever. It's all part of the mission. And if you understand his mission is to make himself he's basically blowing himself up. Imagine like a balloon, and he's the balloon, and he's like, but he's able to like fill his own balloon in that way. I know it's a strange analogy, but like he's able to like blow himself up in that way. And there's nothing going to stop him. There's no one who like, he wants people to like, he says this a million times, he wants people to like him. And that's because he knows popularity makes his image grow bigger. It's not because he's vain or he has some other thing. Literally, he says this stuff so casually. But like I said, like you mentioned, I've been watching him for so long. I'm like, I understand the meta meanings in between a lot of stuff he says, or at least I believe I do. So his mission is glory, and whatever he has to do to get there, however he has to act, how many stripper poles he has to get on, pose, whatever it is, it's all part of that mission. But people just want to like, oh, he's gonna any day he's gonna rug pull, any day he's gonna do this and that. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. His mission is different than just about anyone else on earth. It really is unique. It's different than Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he wants to put humanity on Mars and you'll have the backup planet deal, and he wants to do all these other projects. He wants to make human life better and things like that. Some overlap with Richard, but for Richard, it's literally he wants to get glory by doing great things. And saving humans' consciousness, there's nothing more important on earth than that. That's his famous saying as well. That's his goal, and whatever it takes to get there, that's what he's going to do. So it's I think that's to me, that's the biggest thing. He really is not just some guy. He really is this unique human being, and the things he does is all for a purpose. And like I said, it's some things I've seen him do or say it, and I'll be like, oh, I don't quite understand that the angle on this one. Why is he doing that? But it's just it's not important for you to understand. It's for his glory. And his glory, why it's such a good thing. I wrote a whole blog post about this stuff. The reason we should all be supporting him getting that glory is that along the way of getting that, he's making everybody rich. Like, what's better than that? What's better than taking the people who believe in his products and believe in his system ideas and pumping them up along with him? It's trickle down winning is what I've been calling it. So the reason, he's not doing it by like burning down, countries or doing all these horrible things. He's doing it in a way that makes him more successful, makes him better, and gets closer to his goal, and does a lot of great things along the way, such as longevity research, which I think is the most important thing.
You've seen a change over the years on the longevity research. There was a there was an interview, I don't remember where it was conducted, but Elon Musk was asked that question, and he sat there for a second and then pondered it and said that he doesn't actually think that living longer is something that's necessarily a great thing, right? Because then if you I don't remember where it's from, but maybe a philosopher or something. If you, or maybe it was that guy Neil deGrasse Tyson, that name, or his image pops into my mind when I think about it.
It gives meaning to life. Is that what we're gonna say?
Yeah, and if you have eternity to live for, right, then people today already have a lack of urgency to accomplish things and take action. Right. And if you extended that, like, doubled it or tripled it or 10x or whatever the case might be, then the urgency to take action today, because the knowledge that tomorrow I'll be dead at some point, right, is a good driver. It's a good motivator to put things into perspective for me to continue taking action towards my goals every day.
It's a very primitive one, though. Very primitive. And that's assuming everything's going to stay the same. Well, the goal for medium, because we have a limited amount of time. And Richard's talked about this too. It's like, if your decision is giving people longer lives or not, and you don't do it because you think that people are going to live meaningless lives, or dictators are going to live forever, there's all these counter argument stuff too, then aren't you part of the problem, right? Like, aren't you kind of deciding you don't want people to live longer lives? Even though if you looked at yourself and, the human's most basic instincts for survival is, that's the most basic instinct, is I must survive over everything else. And you don't want to work on that. I'm not saying you in particular, I'm just saying in general, the argument goes, like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Why not try and find out? Like, why not try and do it? And then we'll deal with the problems afterwards. Like, if that's the thing that's going to destroy humanity, us living longer, that's a lot better than nuclear war. That's a lot better than all these other things we could be working on to try to blow ourselves up with, and AI and all this stuff. I'd take my chances on that one.
Interesting take. I appreciate the insights. Last question on this before you dive into some of this other stuff. You've seen this, I would assume, because I haven't been there to see it firsthand, pretty drastic shift in the evolution of somebody's character, right? It's just the PR version of themselves that they choose to show the internet, right? And you've seen this evolution from one PR version to a completely different PR version. What's your take on that over the last 5 years? You've been able to see this evolution.
Yeah. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying about he'll do whatever it takes for the mission. And yeah, when I first started watching him, it was, long hair, streams in the dark, for 8-hour live streams, barely goes to pee. It was just like this hunk of Bitcoin maxi that just talks and says all kinds of interesting things in life and crypto. And that's when I started following. At the time, it was a good time just to have some sort of, mentor, passive mentor, of course, of how to get better at life, how to get better at crypto. Crypto's new to me. I want to learn this stuff. So, and all self-development videos and stuff. So he went from self-development guy, rich, playboy self-development guy type, to around 2017, late 2017. Then he started okay, everyone's making shit coins. I'm going to make a better one. And that's when CFD token and Bitcoin Hex started ramping up. 2018, he got a haircut. That was interesting. So when he chopped it all off and he started having short hair, then I think he was starting to evolve into more camera friendly, more people will like me if I look not like, this rich playboy type with long hair and the throne and the purple. He always wore these dark purple stuff and all this stuff, which is good, but it's not appealing to mass crowds. And again, that's he wants to appeal to most people as possible. And then 2019, that was kind of the year of, he started really doing a lot of streams with people, a lot of debates with people, a lot of just asserting his dominance in that way. And then, I think 2019, 2020, he started, if I were to speculate, I think he started realizing hey, this stuff's going to be big. I'm launching this coin. This is going to be, I need to change myself. I I need to do things I really wasn't interested in doing before, such as, you know, now fast forward 2020, 2021, 2022. Let's start dressing crazy. Let's like start like just spending all kinds of money. Let's buy Louis Vuitton airplane bags. Let's have watch contests and like, you know, have a list. Who has a list with prices and models of all the watches they have for millions of dollars? Nobody has that. So who buys the world's largest diamond? It does happen to be 5555. That was insane coincidence, I guess, too. Almost conspiratorial, but we'll say it's a coincidence. But he started he wants to appeal to as many people as possible. I don't know how many streams I've seen where he'll be having a stream with somebody and they'll say, you know, why do you do the things you do, blah, blah, blah. And he'll say, I want people to like me. He is so upfront about it, and he's serious. He is super serious. He wants people to like him, because more people like him, more means more people buy his stuff, you know, his products and stuff like that. Again, he's not trying to sell you anything. He's trying to get you into the ecosystem where, you know, you can buy the coins yourself and do what you wish with them. But everything adds to the momentum for him becoming this great person.
So, in your opinion, obviously, because we don't know, when Richard Hart is wearing ridiculous clothes and things like this, what's the idea behind people liking that, right? Because it's not something that particularly appeals to a lot of people, right? But so I don't. Where does that? Like, and I'm curious to hear your thought on that, because it's not something that's a lot of people are turned off by that. They're like, this is ridiculous, right? But like,
yes,
there's a certain.
I've said before too. I think if I started following him or I came across him in 2021, 2022, I don't think I would have stuck with it. I would have moved on to a different community because that stuff doesn't appeal to me. But he's not trying to appeal to me. He's not trying to appeal to you. He's not trying to appeal to the person who's already in, the crypto person. He's not trying to appeal. He's trying to show everyone he's better in that way. And I know it doesn't directly always convert into more numbers.
So sorry to interrupt you on this, but so when somebody does that, to me, it just sounds like insecurity, right? Like, so somebody's like, oh, I'm big shot on fucking line. To me, it just sounds like somebody's insecure. I don't know, right?
Yeah, but the whole body of work, though, the whole body of work. If you saw somebody, let's take that example. You see somebody looking like Richard walking down the street. They got a whole bunch of crazy bags of stuff, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to be any part of that. Like that's some rich guy. Maybe I'll take a picture, maybe I won't, whatever. But if you see that, and then maybe you Google him or whatever, and you see Richard Hart, and then you come across $1 million of watches. Oh, he's got crypto products. Oh, he's an entrepreneur. Oh, you see his life story. He went from nothing, from rags to riches, literally, all this stuff. Then if you make it to that point, now you're converted. You're either converted or you just Googled a bunch of scam stuff. And now I think even at that point, once you just get like a little bit of that carrot and you Google scam stuff, you go, oh, this guy's even more interesting. He got sued for spam in 2001, whenever it happened, which is like the most non-point ever, the most moot point ever. Who cares what happened 20 years ago? But like that, it's just,
you know how much spam we get today? Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's crazy when people bring that up. Oh, he's such a bad person because he got sued for spam one time. Who cares? What does that take away from anything he's ever done? Like it doesn't paint his profile as a bad person at all. But no. I guess the point is, like, it doesn't directly convert people when they see that, but it builds. It's like it compounds his image. It compounds his brand, and more than anything, too, he gets memed. Richard gets memed more than who else? What other crypto founder gets memed more than Richard? So you got to think outside of just the person converting it. I know that's like the first layer of thinking, oh, why does he wear this stuff? It looks ridiculous. Nobody likes it. But then think about how many pictures are going around the internet with Richard with, crazy necklaces and like rings and shorts and shoes and all this crazy stuff. And now people are putting funny things and memes go viral. Again, what does Richard want? Become more popular. Build his brand, become famous, be world recognizable. Memes are a huge part of that. And that's the play, in my opinion, for that one.
Thank you.